that was completed. We kind of understood what some of the problems that were needed to be looking into more detail. We applied for another grant to try to seek some of the solutions to the problems that we had identified, and the successful consultant for that was RRM. And I have with me today Keith Gurney from RRM, who's going to, he didn't know it when he came here this morning, but he's going to give you a brief presentation on what this particular grant project hopes to do and the progress so far and some of the problems that we've encountered. So with that, I'll give the rest of the time to Keith.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'll try to be brief. I really didn't know I was going to be making a presentation of the streetscape, and I do have copies of it if you do want to see it. But I did want to go through and kind of bring you up to speed on where we are today and where we think we're going with this, as it will appear before your board, probably here within the next 2 to 3 months. The purpose of the project that we've been working on for was to develop a streetscape design plan and a parking strategy for downtown Walla. About a 6-block long area right out in front of the buildings that we're in. You may recall that the county adopted the Walla Town Plan and its local coastal program. The Walla Town Plan was part of it. And that town plan recommended a number of circulation improvements on Highway 1. It actually envisioned a much wider right-of-way than is being proposed with this plan, which will go to 3 lanes with a center-left turn lane with medians. It will also have bike paths on the street, and it will involve the elimination of on-street parking. That was called for in the Walla Town Plan, and we had to work with it as we need to be consistent with what your general plan says Walla should be. In taking on this project, we have met with the community multiple times. We've met with a number of individuals and property owners as well to try to work through the problems that came out of this. And we came up with a design plan for the streetscape project that is generally supported by the community, provided that we conclusively solve the parking problem caused by the elimination of on-street parking on Highway 1. And we're working on that. The parking on Highway 1 involves the elimination of about 40 parking spaces. I believe you have a petition that says it will eliminate half the parking in town. It's, obviously, just the Sunstrom Mall has more than 40 parking places. But parking is a real issue, and we are looking for creative solutions. We are going to explore some potential pockets of on-street parallel parking. We're looking at working with property owners to better, more efficiently utilize their parking facilities to yield more parking. And to the property owners' credit, we had a major breakthrough at the last meeting with the owners of the Sunstrom Mall, the Walla Hotel, and that collection of properties. That would yield just by strategically laying out the parking lots without respect to property lines would yield well over 150 spaces in addition to what is already there. The biggest problem that we're having is coordinating with the underground. I went to a meeting with Tom Mitchell, the utility companies, and the representatives of GMAC, and was told that they were pretty well done with the first phase undergrounding project with the design. And we've been asking for this for quite some time, so we can coordinate our work with theirs. Obviously, we don't want to install a streetscape and tear it out and underground utilities later. The reverse should be the case. Do the undergrounding first, or at the same time you're doing the streetscape installation. But we have been told that we could not get those materials now until October, I guess it's going to be early November. And the grant that we're working under is time sensitive. And so either we're going to need to get some more time to be able to get those materials and coordinate the streetscape design with the undergrounding project, or we're simply going to have to design the project and expect the undergrounding to meet what we come up with. And if there's anything the county can do to cut loose PG&E and AT&T of those drawings so that we can, in common sense, build them into our plan, we would really appreciate the help. There's also going to be a financing and administration chapter to the plan that we're preparing. We've tried to be very cognizant of the financial challenges faced by Mendocino County and have tried to design a project that will be very grant friendly. The presence of bicycle paths will dramatically ease grant funding from Caltrans as well as the California Coastal Conservancy. And we think that many of the capital costs that would be necessary to expand to beautify the streetscape and make it a safer environment for pedestrians would be grant funding. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
To the board members, questions on the town streetscape plan? Any questions?
Just a comment that the funding is probably the crux of this. You don't want to, I mean, it's to benefit everybody. I don't think we can lay a lot of financing on a few landowners. So that's been one of the concerns.